Hi guys, Professor Gustavo here. Today let's take a look on how to do the Brabo choke from side control, okay? Or knee on belly as we're gonna go. So I like to play side control with the gi opening the lapel, okay? Because it gives me great control and also several options here to attack the guy, especially chokes, right? So I have my regular side control here. I'm going to start opening his lapel, so make sure that I have a nice shoulder pressure here so the guy doesn't turn into me as I release my underhook. Right? So I'm going to lift his shoulder here. I'm going to drive my hand behind the middle of his back. I'm going to drop my shoulder on his jaw. Okay? Controlling turning his head that way, because once I start opening lapel, he's going to shoot his underhook trying to turn into me. So the shoulder pressure doesn't let the guy turn into me. As I have now my time to start working the lapel. Sometimes mid-roll the lapel is kind of loose already, so it's easier to pass all the way to this hand here. Okay, a nice control, tight lapel control. Okay, the lapel control now works pretty much as my underhook, since he cannot turn into me now because his shoulder is pinned down by the lapel. So once I get my lapel control here, make sure it's tight, everything good. I'm gonna go pop to knee on stomach. So I slide my hand here towards his hip, blocking his hip, making it harder for him to hip escape as I pop to knee on stomach. Okay? And now several attacks from here with this lapel. It's not only a good control, as I said, but it gives me options. So the Brabo choke is going to work with me passing the lapel to this hand here. I'm going to release a little bit to have space for my hand. Make sure to get your hand really deep on his lapel. See that I'm almost touching my shoulder here against his body, so it gives me the angle to get my arm all the way deep. I want my hand behind his neck. That's very important to make this choke tight and effective. Several attacks from here. The basic one would be the cross choke. If he doesn't do anything, I can finish from here. I can even pull the guy up and choke. Most of the time, of course, once I start driving this hand, he's going to try to clear or push on my chest or clearing this arm here, right? Making it harder for me. So the Brabo choke comes from here, crossing his arm. Cross his arm, drop my chest behind his tricep, and I'm gonna drop my knee towards the ground. So I allow the guy come more on his side. So this arm here is deep on his neck, okay? Make sure now I drive, control his sleeve, guide his arm and his shoulder against his neck. Right? I don't want his arm low here, where his shoulder is disconnected from the neck. I want to guide his bicep and shoulder on his neck, where now I pull this arm up and drive my chest on his neck for the submission, guiding his arm down against his neck. Okay? Another very common scenario here is once I pass the lapel and pop to my knee on stomach, if I cannot cross my arm here, I can always, of course, go to the baseball bat choke, which is another great option from here. Also, another way to set up the Brabo, when the guy starts pushing on my knee, trying to drop my knee towards the ground, I can just come with my arm here, under, fit into the lapel, and start attacking again. If he catches my leg here into the half guard, doesn't change much. Now he's focused on holding my leg, and I have time here to work my choke still from top half. Alright?